I did know I was coming today, so I did.
Yes, I love the pen.
I
It's
did try to
beautiful.
be
It looks beautiful.
colorful and.
Oh, yeah. All right, everyone, I'm going to call the docket. When I call the docket, you need to stand and let me know you are here. Otherwise, I'm going to assume you're not here, and a warrant may be issued for your arrest. Jeremiah Simmons, custody. Jamar Clark. McIntyre, that's 1030. Clinton Dwayne Dixon. Thank you. Pedro Rodriguez, custody. John Anthony Martinez. DeAndre Coleman, Fernando Jimenez, custody. Brennan Short. Christian Angel Espinoza. Tuesday is not starting off to be great, guys. Jamala Richardson. Is there a line outside?
Yeah. Really bad accent on my text.
Not what you're thinking about.
Okay. Bradley Gallon. Juan Clara Roscan, custody. Jesus Prada, custody. Ray Anthony Espinoza, custody. Celeste Juarez. Thank you. Bradley Gallon. Darren Johnson. Thank you. Hi. Ray Espinoza, custody. Deshauna Robinson. Thank you. Brennan Short. Elena Barrera. Elena Floripe Barrera. Jeremy Stiggers. Thank you. Lisa Telsey. Charles Smith, custody. Thank you. Dino Acosta.
Judge, I'm working with Brandon Lopez on that one. He is in the Dominican Republic trying to earn money to the, he's working on the offshore drilling
Okay.
because he needs to pay upfront restitution. He
Okay.
doesn't have the full amount yet, so I just need to address that.
All right, thank you. Yes, I think you know what? Let me see if this is him on Zoom. So we'll take him up first. My understanding is if it's the person that Yaya told me about, he's trying to pay, but he's trying to pay through probation, and it should be to a
Right.
different place.
Yeah, we'll talk about after docket. I was trying to, it's a long story.
All right, no problem. Alexander Rangel. Casilla Roper, custody. Cortez Polk, custody. Christopher Delgado, Caleb Crum. Thank you. Juan Flores, custody. Jamar Clark. Hi, I'm gonna need you on the second row. Brennan Short. Christian Espinoza. Jamila Richardson. Bradley Gallon. Elena Barrera. Dino Acosta. Alex. Oh, you're by phone. Is that Dino Acosta?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, just give us a moment. Alexander Rangel. All right, is there anyone present who came in late or your name wasn't called? Yes.
Richardson's email page to the hospital.
Which page?
Page 3.
All right, could I see the file on Jamila Richardson and Dino Acosta, please? All right, everyone, these are the rules of the court. Attorneys, if you have someone who is in custody, request your inmate. Once you request your inmate, do not leave the courtroom because due to security reasons, there's only a limited number of inmates that are allowed. Once you conferred with the state and conferred with your client, then you will be ready to approach the court. Do not approach the court if you have not done those two things. If your person is on probation, if it has anything to do with probation, confer with the probation officer, that's Miss Abrams. Do not talk behind the court reporter while we're on the record. If you have someone who is in the box and you're talking to them behind the court reporter and we're on the record, just raise your hand. The deputy will move you to the other end. Do not approach to my right while we're on the record. And you'll know we're on the record because I will have called the style of the case. If you have someone who wishes to speak to the court in a language other than English, will need an interpreter brought down. Just let the coordinator or the clerk know that you need an interpreter. To everyone else, we are going to do a hard stop at 11:30. If your paperwork with your attorney is not turned in by 11:30, you're going to need to come back tomorrow because we're starting jury trial in the afternoon. So all of you who are here, if you don't see your attorney, you have the court's permission to step outside and call your attorney to let them know that we're doing a hard stop at 11:30 and that if your case is not resolved by then you're going to have to come back tomorrow at 9. All right, Dino Acosta.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, are you able to,
Yeah.
All right, so Mr. Acosta.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, my understanding is that you have had problems paying the amount, but you have the amount to pay. Is that correct?
It's not.
Yes,
the
ma'am. Correct.
All right, so the people you should be paying it to, it's not going to be paid to probation because you're not on probation. And probation has informed me that it's best that you do a check and the check is made out to the complainant. That will be easier because if you send it through probation, it's going to get lost.
Okay, yes, I actually did try, Your Honor, reaching out to the cashier's department at the probation office, but they told me that nothing was on file. Then I tried reaching out to your office, Your Honor, and I was explaining the same, pretty much just wait for the court date and kind of take it from there. But at the moment, I do have, I'm not sure if you received the letter that we sent in via PDF.
Yes.
I do have 5,000 out of those 8,000 that were requested by the court. Just because of my late start with my new position and me being out of the country and everything else just played a big factor in that. But I do have a majority of the amount, not the full amount requested by the court. I'm not sure if maybe that would be an issue or not, but I do have that available.
All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to reset you. And that way
Okay.
you'll have a chance to get that amount to your attorney. But of course, it's supposed to be half the amount. So it'll have to be the 8,000. And
Yes,
so if I give you close to 30 days, is that enough time for you?
I'm supposed to be back in the country on the 6th of this month, which is next Monday. Well, Sunday, technically. And I'll be in the States for about a week and come back out until the beginning of June, which would be June 4th is when I'm supposed to be back home for a limited amount of times. I think it's like 3 weeks that I'll be home for. And I will have that amount. I'm not sure if that's something the court can possibly do for me.
No, I mean, so you're saying you'll have it the week of April 7th?
Oh, well, no, that's when I'll be home because I know trying to make the payment has been a problem for me just because of my service here with my internet and everything else.
And in terms of Plea's got to have the whole amount before we can get the offer that was
Yes.
given to us.
Well, no, it says 8,000.
Right.
So it'll have to be the 8,000. So my question is, when will you have the 8,000?
I can have that, I want to say by the end of this month, the beginning of May now.
We need them here too to do it. So
Yes, yeah.
yeah.
Yes, that's why I'm trying to coordinate with the court because I know I will be back in June where I can make my appearance in court, of course. I'm not sure if that's something.
What day in June?
June 4th.
All right. Then I tell you what, how long are you going to be here in June? So you say you'll be back June 4th. Will you be here the week of June 9th?
Yes, ma'am. I'll be there for 3 weeks total.
All right. So what's a good date for you?
June 9th's fine.
All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to recall this for June 9th. And just bring a cashier's check or something with you
Or
and have the complainant's name on it.
Okay, yes, ma'am, definitely will. If I can make the payment prior to that date, maybe by the time that I go home for the end of this month or whatever it is, then I'll go ahead and take it in personally myself. And just kind of have everything ready for June.
All right, and make sure you contact your attorney because I would hate for the check to get lost in
Yes, ma'am.
translation or sent somewhere it shouldn't have gone.
Yes, ma'am, we will definitely do that for sure.
Thank you.
All right, and so June, we'll see you on June 9th in the 187th at 9 a.m.
Okay.
And we'll go from there.
Okay, sounds great. Thank you, Your Honor. You have a great day.
All right, you two stay safe out there.
I sure will. Trying to.
All right, bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Judge.
Oh, just one second. Let me put this in the system. Yes,
But Bradley Gawan this morning, I don't know if he's checked in via Zoom.
he's
or
on
not.
Zoom.
Okay.
Okay.
Whatever, I guess.
No problem. Who's here on Jamala Richardson? Scott, are you on Jamala Richardson?
Caleb Kroom and
All right, so Vashawn, on Jamala Richardson. I know you said she was in the hospital.
Yes, that's what diagnosed and that's me.
All right, can I have the email from Jamala Richardson, please? Yes. Jenna, could you see if Yaya has the email on Jamala Richardson?
I'm giving her a call right now.
Thanks.
Who's here on Concia Roper?
It's family violence case, it's a motion to revoke.
Mhm.
But I believe that we need to set it for a contested MTR.
Okay. All right, Roper,
Come on, come on, come on. I thought if we might be able to do something about it, that's why we have the signed cert, but turns out no.
all right, State. On Roper, it's a motion to revoke technicals. Are you all prepared to proceed on a motion to revoke contested?
Not this morning. Tested. We
All right, have you all reviewed the,
can look at it right now, and maybe we can work something out potentially. Otherwise, if it's gonna be a true contested, we'd ask for one reset before doing so.
all right, if you all want to look it over,
Yes, Sean.
Thanks, Judge.
thank you.
I sent you that email, you got your copy.
Okay, thank you.
I think she had. And it, and it continued. I mean, I think they're aware that it was. Okay, super.
Norma, I've already sent an email to them withdrawing our consent for the
Okay,
transfer.
good. Because I was just, I knew that Ray Espinosa was another case that had a capital murder with an ag robbery.
Oh, well, if you want to see if they'll accept it,
I mean, okay. I happened to look at today and I was like, oh, okay.
probably would be best to contact HEQ
Mhm.
and see if they'll accept that you found another case.
Okay. I will be calling.
Brennan Short? Yes. Good morning.
Judge, I'm back on the setting today. I'm Mr. Short. He remains in the Bureau of Prisons. I got a phone call from the Bureau of Prisons this morning to indicate to me that they haven't received any paperwork. So I know you signed a couple of writs.
Mhm.
I think the missing link here, Judge, is it has to go through the sheriff's department and there's a disconnect on that knowledge or
Just 1 second, let me see something. All right, when you say he's at the prison, do you mean state prison or federal prison?
federal prison, Judge. You'll recall he's in, I know you got a million cases, but he's in federal. This is, I think, our 4th or 5th time of attempting to get him here.
Mm-hmm. All right, we're gonna figure this out today.
I think the problem is that you signed the paperwork, but the paperwork needs to go to the sheriff's department to pick him up. So
No, I mean, here's,
it's more than that, you think?
yes.
I shared with Mr. Garahan a letter that my client sent me of the letter that was sent by the Bureau of Prisons to Mr. Gonzalez's office with step-by-step instructions.
Well, just 1 second.
Hey. Talk to your brother and sister-in-law away. Yeah. He didn't change much. Yeah. He's got more hair than you. He does.
He's a good man.
No, he's a good guy. Yeah, I went, I got here. No.
He's in federal custody.
Wait for a call from that court judge. That's that piece of paper. I'm sorry, I jumped the gun.
No, go
I'm
ahead.
assuming this is Brendan Short.
Yes, it's Brendan Short.
That's that paperwork that you signed, I want to say a week and a half or at least early last week or the week before.
Mm-hmm.
And the clerk signed off and signed off on it and then Rose, our advocate, took it back to the clerk that's in charge of sending it off.
Okay,
So
so has it been done?
that's what I
I told the judge, I had a call from the Bureau of Prisons this morning at 8:15. They have no paperwork.
If I can call Rose real quick, she
Sure.
told me I missed a call, but I asked her to call Andy again.
All right,
I couldn't
thank
get
you.
her the other day when she.
Are you already on Roper or no?
So they need to get the guy on the line so we can.
Okay,
And Your Honor, I'm sorry, I approached on that.
sure.
At least on the state side, we weren't aware, didn't have any notice like there's gonna be any sort of contested motion, so we would just like, a few days to set it out for hearing.
No. I mean, and let me just tell everybody why. Bradley Galan,
Yes, Judge. So, I can grab a DA. Andrew or Jason.
oh, well, Jason's on the phone taking care of things.
And this is just, we're still waiting for a decision by the CCA. I checked this morning.
I will tell you what, you know, it is rare. And maybe I'm wrong, but I think I've done internally, I've done statistics on this. It is rare that you can find a man who multitasks very well, right? So Jason's on the phone seeing about the federal case. Then he's conferring with you. Then he's conferring on a case being transferred. It's like, hey,
Sounds like he's-
I'm gonna be impressed.
Thank you. That's a compliment. I want that on
I'm
the record.
impressed. I've seen you multitask too, so I'm gonna have to let my mom know.
Like a woman too.
All right, so when are we expecting them to?
I have no idea, Judge. You know, I would say that the Fifth Circuit did rule that this was a general warrant and that, you know, their opinion should be binding over Texas, but I don't know when the CCA is coming down.
Well,
There was
everybody
a-
has opinions.
In March, I think 19th, sometime in mid-March, I did see there was a filing for additional authorities or something, so I'm not sure exactly.
All right, Mr. Bradley, you need to show your video.
And I hesitate to reach out to him. The last time I did it.
Yes, ma'am, I'm trying.
Yeah.
All right.
Is it on? I'm
No,
not
it's
sure.
not.
As you can-
So this will be the last setting to see what they're gonna do. Then I'm just gonna go forward and then we'll see what happens. Either I'm gonna be correct in my ruling or I'm gonna be wrong in my ruling. It's not gonna hurt my feelings. But we've been waiting for a decision from them since June of 2024.
I believe we did have a hearing in August.
Yeah.
Or September. but-
What, before the June date? But no, I mean, we've been waiting for June for them to have a decision.
Correct, yes.
This
Since they've heard-
geofencing.
Since they've, I believe, submitted.
So I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do. June 24th. How long we've been waiting?
That is my 50th birthday.
Oh, 50, I'm telling you right now, once you pass 29, does anybody really celebrate anymore?
But I'm hoping not to be.
I celebrate the entire month, but does anybody really do that? I don't know.
I
So-
used to, I don't have kids.
But you know what, when your children become adults, they're gonna start celebrating you.
I'll be an old man when that happens. If I'm not already.
All right, so June 4th, right? When is your birthday?
The day you've given, the 24th.
No, I mean, June 4th, is that your birthday?
No, you said June 4th? Yeah, I'm available June 4th.
All right, no, I was just gonna do it on a day to give them a year.
Okay,
So June 6th, if we recall this for the week of June 9th, that will be more than a year.
Yes, Judge.
So is the week of June 9th good for you?
It should, yes, Judge.
All right, so we're gonna recall this on June 10th. All right, and Mr. Bradley?
Yes,
June-
ma'am.
After this date, if they don't have a decision, then your next date is gonna be a jury trial date.
Yes, ma'am.
Mhm. Anything else?
Nothing for the state.
Nothing for defense, Judge.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
Judge, sorry,
Yes,
whenever you're ready.
okay, I'm ready.
Okay, I got a little bit of a story, but I do have a clerk, one of the clerks that's in charge of requesting to give a rendition of what happened if you like, but I could give that possibly where my understanding is that this was sent off, but the 4 officers that do the transport were on a long haul drive to get a different prisoner. They didn't get back in time, so the other clerk canceled this one since it was not, it was supposed to be coming up without telling us. And then she said that they need 10 days from today. I'm gonna confirm that. I mean, I have Andy,
Okay, who's the other clerk who canceled things?
I believe, I can't, don't quote me, but I believe it's Ruby. I don't know if that's.
Wait, the
correct.
clerk here in Bear County?
Oh, yeah, I think it's, I gotta make sure about all that. That's something I just threw out there because I think that's the name. I think that's,
No, I mean, a clerk in Bear County canceled it.
I don't know which clerk. And
No, 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 I
yes,
mean,
it would be Bear County, yeah.
All right, tell the Bear County clerk to stop canceling things when the court had ordered things.
I know, Judge, and the thing is that we signed off all that paperwork and that's when I thought it was, but then.
Tell that clerk, maybe I'll have them transfer somebody a la Con Air.
This is not that clerk, but this is Andy Gutierrez.
Okay,
Hey.
hi.
She works for the DA's office and I think she can give a better rendition of what happened, of what I just gave to you.
It is a multiple wrench being thrown at me and I'm kind of over it just as much as you are. We had this paperwork signed, I believe it was 2 Fridays ago.
Mhm.
I had sent it down with you guys, had you all.
Everyone, please whisper.
We got it notarized. We did everything on like the DA's and the district court's end. Then we have to have the officers who are going to pick up, they have to go and do signatures themselves for the paperwork. And then all of that goes to the BOP. So the officers that were going to go, I guess got sent on like a long distance trip or something. It was kind of a weird situation. And so by the time we needed to get their signatures, Ruby, who is our extraditions coordinator, she went ahead and made the call to cancel the pickup just because she didn't know when they would be back in town to give signatures. She is ready to do the reset in regards to, I think she said a 10-day minimum to set it out.
All right, tell Ruby for me
Okay.
that when the court orders something and signs something,
Mhm.
don't cancel.
Okay.
Otherwise, a la Con Air, she can go on a trip and go pick them up. Because we have reset this and reset this and reset this. And then people are resetting things without the court's permission or canceling things.
Mhm.
And now he's here. We're thinking everything is going to be set and it is not. So tell Ruby, next time she wants to cancel something, she needs to come down to court
Mhm.
and ask me
Okay.
if it can be canceled.
Okay.
And if it's canceled again without asking me, then she's going to come down here to court and explain to me why things are being canceled without the court's permission. Because when I want somebody here, I want somebody here because it's wasting his time. It's wasting the state's time. Not really wasting my time in the sense that I'm supposed to be here anyway, but we're killing trees because we
Yes.
keep resetting this.
Yeah.
So when is he going to be here?
If we could get him possibly on the 16th, I believe is the 10 business day minimum that she gave me. If we can get it faster, I can see if I can work with her. But paperwork is all ready to go. It would be a change of date. It's just signatures at that point.
All right. I want him here on the 17th.
17th. All righty, we can do that.
All right, Miss,
May
sorry
she
about
be
that.
excused?
yes, you may be excused.
Thank you
Thank
so much for coming. I appreciate
you.
it. Judge, she's been so helpful.
Oh,
She's
no, it's
been-
not
okay,
her.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think maybe Ruby canceled the pickup rather than your order. So I just want to make that clear. It wasn't the order that was canceled. I think that she is in charge of ordering people to go pick up. So I think that's what I heard from Andy right now, but I can confirm that if you like later.
No,
But
no.
Yeah.
So we're all agreed, April 17th.
Very good, Judge.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
Second row, sir.
Is it right now or is that? I'll give you 8 minutes.
I'm sorry.
What's this thing you talk about, DDRF or something, or dual?
Oh, that's an inpatient treatment for people who have mental health issues,
And what's it called, DD what?
DDRF. If you talk to Bashan, she'll let you know what the wait time is to
That's why I was
be
looking.
transferred
But
there.
Is that right? See, I'm a big fan. I think the county does a better job than the state.
Mhm.
Is that a county run thing or?
Yes,
It is?
yeah, and it's run through probation.
Run around great. I'm not saying it's right, but I think I might have. I mean, we both had that. That's true. You gotta go to
in my 20s. But not like go out and, but canoeing. Kevin will come and try to do.
Yeah.
I still have the canoe. I gotta get that canoe out of the. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
But I'm not thrower.
Yeah. Yeah, but I haven't done it all like that.
Okay. Okay. You have to reach out.
It's NPR. We're ready.
Oh, just give me 1 second. Let me put this in the system real quick. Jenna, could I have the file back on Bradley Galan, please? Yeah, I just need to put something in the system.
Did we approach real fast?
Sure.
You know that case we talked about yesterday afternoon where the individual is being seen at Veterans Treatment Court this morning? He said he could come back at 1:30.
Yes.
Council is here.
They may have tried to contact me yesterday, Judge, but I've been under the weather, so I
Okay.
was in the office.
All right, just give me a second.
Okay.
Let me put this in the system.
Yes. Yes.
All right, what case is this?
Alexander Rangel.
All right, is it on the docket today?
Yes, Judge.
All right, can you have them pull the file?
I guess council just wanted to know maybe if he could possibly appear via Zoom. I don't know that Veteran Treatment Court will have an answer today on it
Okay,
because of the evaluation this morning.
yes, he can appear by Zoom.
Would that be at 10 o'clock or 1:30, Judge?
Oh, if you can get him in by Zoom now or 1:30, 1:30?
Because he's in the evaluation as
Okay.
in.
So is
Yes.
the excuse this morning from here?
Yes.
Okay.
So that he can get that done, yes. This is 1:30. And counsel, he'll need to be here exactly at 1:30 because we have a jury trial that's starting up.
Okay,
I
so
think-
the Veterans Court is here or it's
No,
gonna be on
no,
Zoom?
No, your client can appear by Zoom and Veterans Court can appear by Zoom because we're just trying to get an update from them.
Okay, thank you.
Who's here on Fernando Jimenez?
Me.
All right, come down.
Come on, Mr. Evans.
Hello, Mr. Jimenez, how are you doing this morning?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so where are we on discovery on each of these cases? And I know one is criminal trial division, one is family violence.
So I'm here to ask the court for a reset because on the 701 case,
Mhm.
we believe that we're gonna have an affidavit of non-prosecution to
Okay.
present. And excuse me, Judge, and then on the two CTD cases, based on the information that Mr. Jimenez has given me, I need to double check on the body cam and the co-ban.
All right, and are all of the cases indicted?
Yeah.
All right. So do you have the body cam already uploaded?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So, and were you able to tender an offer?
Offer's been tendered, yes, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, I need a 30-day reset for plea deadline date on Jimenez. All right, we'll be back on May 8th at that
Judge,
time.
actually, I'm sorry, I'm supposed to be in CLE on May 8th.
You don't need any more education. You're fabulous.
About telephones and the warrants and stuff. It's
Oh,
supposed to be
yeah.
Fantastic.
All right. And how long is your CLE? Is
It's
it
just
that?
that, it's just that one day, but we're leaving it's in Dallas, so we're leaving Wednesday, gonna be there Thursday, coming back Friday. So you want to do it like,
We can do it the-
7/6? May
Uh,
6th?
Sure.
May 6th is fine.
Yes. All right.
Okay. Yes.
All right. So we'll bring you back on May 6th.
All right,
And on
thank
that date, you need to let the court know if you've reached an agreement. If not, your next setting date will be a jury trial date.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. you-
Yes. Just let it go that you're.
Can you guys play stand by. Right, yes. Cutting in front of you. Then put Ray Espinosa. Ray Espinosa.
No problem.
My apologies. It appears Mr. Jimenez is now going to be a plea. We're going to do the paperwork.
All right.
Is there a hard stop at 10 or what am I?
No,
looking at?
paperwork needs to be in before 11:30.
Bingo.
All right, that's gonna be a plea. Jamar Clark,
That's me. Good morning.
good morning. Where's Mr. Clark?
He's right here.
Come up, sir.
Here he comes. Got a jury in the hallway up in the 290th or
Okay.
down the hall. Not the
Oh,
hallway.
what are you trying?
UUMV, but he's got an ice hold and so we're doing what we can.
All right, and does
Mr.
your,
Clark's on bond,
yes, does he want a jury trial or a bench trial?
jury.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, I need a jury trial date, criminal trial division. It's 3 days, and that includes jury selection.
Right.
And so you need to make sure you're on time next time, all right?
But they sent me back downstairs because I had a pick.
Can't bring picks in.
And I didn't know.
Yeah,
August 5th.
perfect.
All right, there's no date sooner than August 5th.
July's kind of tricky for me, Judge.
All right. Can we look into May or June? Or April? All right, May 6th, jury trial date.
Okay. Thank you, Judge.
All right, once you sign the reset form, you're excused.
I think you're on.
Okay. Jesus Prado. Good morning. All right, so we can't try this case today because we're currently in a jury trial. So if you all will confer with Ms. Ferguson on a jury trial date.
We did.
Oh, again, multitasking. Look at you both. I'm so proud.
And Judge, Curtis and I talked about it. I mean, the next pretty much good available date that we could definitely try it would be November 12th. That's also when an Espinosa is set. But I believe that hopefully this one would be the one that could go.
All right, so I'm so sorry. That's the earliest we can have you in jury trial. We're currently in a jury trial now on a capital murder case. If there is an availability that is open up sooner than that, of course, we'll speak with your attorney, or at least the state will speak with your attorney about getting you in sooner, but we are just booked with so many murder cases and capital
I
murder
understand, Your Honor.
cases. All right,
discussed the date, Judge. He's fine.
all right. So November 12th?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so that will be your jury trial date. I'll say it again. You're going to be brought over in whatever civilian clothing you have at the jail. If you wish to be attired in something different, you need to do a clothing exchange. Counsel, if there's an issue with the clothing exchange, let the court know. And you may want to speak to them because we've been having trouble with ties and of course, shoestrings and belts. So you may want to talk to them about that and see if there's something that the court needs to do so that he can have a tie if you want him to have a tie.
I appreciate that. We'll have those arranged.
All right. Is there anything else?
Nothing to say.
All right. If you all can make sure that you all have completed an acknowledgement of discovery for the court. And I don't know if these cases are all being tried together or if they're separate offenses, but if you all can confer on that and state if you'll let defense know potentially which case you may be going first on. Okay. All right. Is there anything else?
Nothing.
And counsel, if there are any motions that the court needs to hear, you'll need to set that before the jury trial date. Just get with Ms. Ferguson, and I like to try to do those at least maybe a week before, and we can do that on a Friday or Wednesday, whatever you all decide on.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Oh, and see if you all want a bench trial. And let me just tell you about bench trials, sir. If the state proves their case beyond a reasonable doubt, I'm going to find you guilty. If they don't prove their case beyond a reasonable doubt, I'm going to find you not guilty. I've had cases where I've done a bench trial, I found people guilty. I've had cases where I've done a bench trial and I found people not guilty. I'm just going to listen and see if it ticks the boxes to what's in the indictment. If it ticks all the boxes, then that means that you're guilty. If it doesn't tick all the boxes, that means that the court will find you not guilty. So that's something for you all to consider. And if you all want a bench trial, please let us know sooner rather than later, because with a bench trial, that means that I could probably get your case heard sooner.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Judge, could we approach?
I'm calling you guys in order of appearance. Thank you. Norma. Prado, what, you all put that on November 12th? All right, on Wednesday?
Yes.
I think that, is it,
Well,
Yeah.
no, holiday is November 11th,
mhm.
but, I don't know about that date. And let me just tell you all the reason why I don't know about that date. Because November 11th, as we know, everyone should be celebrating the veterans, but people choose that as a day to travel, as a day to have barbecues. I don't know if people are going to be back on the 12th, but I'll keep it on the 12th, but we may have a jury pool. We may not have a good jury pool. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean,
So we shall see.
I guess that could happen any week, so, but, I could be ready to go, and if we need to adjust it by a day or two, I don't mind, obviously.
So I will keep it there.
Jason and I confer a lot on this case, so if there's any issues coming up, we'll definitely talk about it and bring it to your attention.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Who's here on Christopher Delgado?
Good.
Good morning. Are you all ready to proceed?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, who's the prosecutor on this? It's a motion to revoke? Well, are you retained or were you appointed?
I was appointed.
All right, so if y'all would just have a seat, there is something different on Odyssey, so let's just see what Odyssey says, and then I'll bring you all back up, okay? Thank you. Who is here on Celeste Juarez? Yes,
Name is Forrest approach.
yes.
Thank you.
All right, yes.
Judge, we are ready to, we received discovery. And I believe what we're asking for, I think what we're supposed to do is set a plea deadline today. We received an offer.
Okay.
And I think that's where we're at, if I'm mistaken. Please correct
Yes,
me.
so I need the acknowledgement of discovery signed.
Yes, Judge.
Okay. All right, and how old are you?
28.
28? And let me just tell you the reason why I asked that, because sometimes I have people in court, they're 18 or 19, and they need a little bit more time to understand the consequences if they're entering into these type of agreements. So I always ask for a person's age so I can sort of gauge how long it would take them to think things through.
Thank you, Judge, for that explanation.
You're welcome. So what we're going to do is we're going to call this for May 6th. That's your plea deadline date. And after that date, if an agreement is not reached, your next date is going to be a trial setting, and the court will not consider any plea bargain agreements without good cause. Otherwise, you have to be plea open to the court. And if you all do decide to enter, go to trial, if y'all want a bench trial, just let the court know. And what I can tell you, I'm going to tell you what I tell everybody else. If the state proves their case beyond a reasonable doubt, if you come to me for a bench trial, I'm going to find you guilty. If they don't prove their case beyond a reasonable doubt, I'm going to find you not guilty. All right. All right. So we'll bring you back on May 6th as your plea deadline date.
And once we sign the discovery acknowledgement and the reset, may we be excused?
You may be excused.
Thank you, Judge.
And thank you for dressing appropriately for court.
I'm gonna
Yes.
have to skip out and go back upstairs real quick.
Okay, sure.
But Ray Espinoza, Melissa Christian's here. She
Oh,
has,
let's take it up. You want to take it up real quick?
if you don't mind, Judge.
Yes,
This
let's
is
bring it
also
up.
the one that Norma has reached out to EQ.
All right, can I see Ray Espinoza? You guys, just give me 1
No
second.
worries, Judge.
All right. On this case, same date?
Yes, Judge.
All right, so we're gonna come back on November 12th. That's your jury trial date and your plea deadline date.
Okay,
All right.
that's perfect, Judge. And we, just for the record, and I believe we stated this last time, but the state has complied with discovery. They gave us a big gigantic hard drive brick and it appears all to be viewable. So we are good to go.
All right, and so Mr. Espinoza, you're gonna be brought over dressed for trial on that day. You'll be brought over dressed for trial in whatever clothing you have at the jail. If you wish to be attired in something different, you'll need to do a clothing exchange. Counsel, there have been some issues with belts and ties.
Okay,
So you may want to talk to them, and if there's an issue, let the court know, and we'll see what we can.
we'll try and
figure
do
out.
that early. So if we run into any issues, we'll tell you.
All right, and if you want a bench trial and you all agree to a bench trial, I'm going to tell you what I told everybody else. If the state proves their case beyond a reasonable doubt, I'm going to find you guilty. If they don't prove their case beyond a reasonable doubt, I'm going to find you not guilty. In this court, I think your counsel will tell you. Do I understand what people are charged with? Yes. But at the end of the day, for the court, either the state proves their case or they don't prove their case. And I'm not going to say, oh, it's this type of case and one for the state. I don't do that. I just listen to whatever is presented to me and make a ruling. You understand?
Sure.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
And I'm sorry, Miss Christian, and you agree to that as the jury trial date, correct?
That is correct.
And you have no objections?
Yeah, it's on my calendar. It's always calendar. We're good.
All right, thank you. Who's here on Gerardo Morales? Hi.
How are you this morning?
I'm doing okay. So it's set for April 3rd. What's going on?
It is, I have about 4 cases set for trial in Waller, Texas that morning.
Oh, okay. So here's the thing.
I will file.
I am trying to learn my counties. So what county is it?
So that if you take I-10 towards Houston is towards Houston, it's a little before Houston, like a couple of counties before Houston.
All right, see, so I'm learning.
Yes. I get to stop at Buc-ee's, which is always good.
Oh, you know what? Let me just tell you. So I had never been to Buc-ee's in in forever.
Okay.
And then we were doing a CLE and the CLE was past Austin or somewhere. And so everybody's like, oh, Buc-ee's, let's stop at Buc-ee's. I'm
Yeah.
like, what is Buc-ee's? Like? So we go, and I will tell you, I was able to get some large pecans for my mom. She just loves them.
Yes, they have like the big bag.
Yes.
Yes, it's great. I like the cinnamon bears. That's my go-to.
See, I didn't try that. I think what I tried, I went to their meat section
Oh, that's true.
and I think I did pulled pork or something. Because we were starving, which we were not. But
But at
yeah.
Buc-ee's, you become.
Yeah. So is your client on bond?
He is in custody. I was hoping we could come tomorrow morning instead. I was trying to move it up a day, but I'm not really trying to get a full reset. I'd like to just
Right.
come tomorrow if possible. If it's not too late for the jail list.
If we were to do it tomorrow, it would have to be exactly at 9 a.m. because I have a meeting at noon.
Okay.
And then we have jury trial that will be continued the afternoon.
I mean, if that works, or we could do it next week, but either whichever one's better. for you.
Ms. Ferguson. On this case, recall it for tomorrow. Criminal Trial Division. This cause number is going to be recalled for tomorrow. It's 2025-000380. All right, thank you.
We discussed it, so. Awesome. Thank you, Judge. I appreciate it. I'll see you tomorrow morning.
All right, bye-bye.
Thank you.
Are you all ready on Jeremy Stiggers? Hello, Mr. Stiggers. How are you
Yes,
doing?
I'm doing great, ma'am.
Oh, that is awesome.
Good to see you again.
You too. Thank you so much for dressing appropriately for court. I appreciate that.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
So Judge, a supplemental report was sent in to the court asking for this compliance hearing. Mr. Stiggers is requesting early termination from his probation. He was granted 6 years deferred adjudication on the 1st of September in 2021. He has completed all of the terms of his probation. He has paid off his entire financial obligation. He's in compliance with everything. There's not one positive UA. He is receiving mental health care. And Mr. Stiggers just wanted to talk to you to see if he could get off probation early. I did speak with the state and Mr. Garahan opposed him getting off probation early simply because
Of the charge. All right. And I see that the complainant has no issues as long as he continues with his treatment.
That is correct.
All right. So, Mr. Stiggers, do you have a support system?
Yes, ma'am. My family,
Okay. And when you say your family, who in your family?
my aunt, she brought me here today.
Okay. Where's your aunt?
My aunt right there.
Hi.
She's I'm not trying to be funny, but she watches your videos. She admires you and stuff.
Okay, have your aunt, what's her name?
Gail
Gail what?
Gail Wilborn.
All right, Miss, come up, please. I'm so glad you're doing so well.
I'm doing really good.
Oh, that is good. Hello. Hi. So I wanted to thank you so much for being a support system for him because when people have issues going on in their life, it is so important that they have somebody to be there to say, hey, don't forget this or to do this. So will you remain his support system?
Yes.
All right. So I have a great report for you. Let me just tell you what I'm going to do, and then I'm going to explain to you why I'm doing it. All right.
Yes, ma'am.
We have something, well, I can't say it's coming up anymore. It's here, isn't it? Yeah. So we have something here called Fiesta. And sometimes during Fiesta, people just lose their mind and just start behaving differently because it's Fiesta. It's sort of like when people go to New Orleans for Mardi Gras. I was watching this documentary where an officer had contacted some citizens and he was like, why are you all doing this in New Orleans? And they said, because it's Mardi Gras. He's like, would you do this in your own state? They're like, no, but it's Mardi Gras. So this is what I can tell you. I am going to, if you follow all of the rules and there are no issues, on May 1st, I will sign the motion for early termination. So I'm not going to let you off until May 1st.
Yes,
Whether
ma'am.
I let you off May 1st or not depends 100% on you. If I receive the report from probation that you're still doing great, I will sign it and you will be off. And the reason why I'm saying May 1st is because we have, well, but Sean, I'm so sorry, because that week is still Fiesta, May 5th, Cinco de Mayo. That day, I will sign the motion for early termination if there are no issues. So whether it's signed on May 5th or not, 100% dependent upon you. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And make sure that I already know you're going to do great. So just make sure that there's no backsliding, because sometimes people will say, well, I'm not going to report to my provider today because, you know, it's a long day. I'm tired. And then you look up and the next thing you know, you haven't seen your provider for 10, 15 days and you're trying to get back on track. Then it's a struggle. So don't do that. All right.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Do you have any other questions?
I just show up. I'm just compliant and everything. And I thank you guys, sir. I grew up.
Awesome. Well, I'm proud of you. I'm so
Yeah.
happy that you're doing well.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And then, of course, when I sign that, if you ever need anything, I'm still here. You can always come back if I'm still here.
And you said May 5th?
May 5th.
Yes, ma'am.
So that's a Monday. And I keep mispronouncing, is it Cinco de Mayo or Cinco de Mayo? Cinco? Okay, you can't throw the accent on me, Rick. You know, I'm working on it. Cinco de Mayo. So on that day, you will be off probation if I receive a good report from probation.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Yes, ma'am.
And Ms. Abrams, will we need him back on the 5th or will you just send me the motion? All right, so you won't even need to come back here. I'll just sign the motion.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you so much.
So much.
Thank you
Dr.
for bringing him. You're welcome. Have a good one, okay? We can put it on the docket as a reminder, but I'll know that he doesn't have to be here. Well, you know what, Norma? Don't do it, because if you do it, it's gonna send a notice to him to appear. And I'll just put it in the system that I'm supposed to sign the early term. Deputy Laura, on Clara Roscon, that's going to be reset her attorneys and jury trial. So let's recall her back. Norma, April 8th. All right. Caleb Crum.
We do not have an agreement.
All right. Are you all ready? Good morning. Are you all prepared to proceed?
Yes.
All right. Court is calling 2000.
Not here, Judge.
I'm sorry.
Oh, you got it. My bad.
Yeah, okay.
Sorry.
No problem. Court is calling 2023 CR 2669 State versus Caleb Crum. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Rick Pena for the state of Texas.
Defense?
Scott Simpson for Mr. Crum.
And are you Mr. Crum?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, did you review the motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you the same Caleb Crum who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2023 CR 2669 for the offense of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon on June 4th, 2024 for a period of 10 years? Is that you?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, state.
Yes, Your Honor. We're here today on state's motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision. Violation of condition number 30. On or about the 31st day of January 2025 in Bear and or McLennan County, Texas. The defendant, Caleb Crum, did then and there fail to comply with the instructions of Center for Healthcare Services as directed by the head or authorized personnel of that agency, in that the defendant failed to get in compliance with medications in violation of condition number 30.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True.
Just 1 second. Excuse me, can I have a stamp for probation, please? Thank you.
The state will waive the other violation.
Any objections to the state's waivers?
No, Judge.
Did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 30, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, and sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine?
Yes, Your Honor.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 30?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find violation of condition number 30 true. Is there a proposed agreement?
There is not, Your Honor. State will make its recommendation. I believe defense will.
All right, state, what are your recommendation?
Recommendation is for 6 years in the TD plea, Your Honor.
All right, so you're asking for revocation?
Revocation is 6 years.
All right, in defense, what are you requesting?
Judge, the probation recommendation was not to revoke, but to go to in-state ISF. We understand he needs some type of inpatient treatment. I'm not a huge fan of the ISF. I think the county-run services work better than the state, just from experience. I was asking for the DDRF. His mother is here in the courtroom today. Problem with DDRF is there's a 26-week wait. He still wants to go back to, he was in school at the Texas State Tech College. And so he would like to try to continue with that. I don't think it makes sense to go back to Waco. I think he needs to be with his mom where he has more structure. But he clearly needs more structure. He clearly needs to be, we have a lot of problems with people who have some mental health issues not getting on their beds regularly. And that's an issue. And he understands the seriousness of it. And we're asking the court to decide whatever treatment that you think is appropriate.
All right, any objection to the court reviewing the court summary?
No.
Not from the state.
All right, so let me find it here.
Huh?
Probation. I don't see the attached notes. All right, thank you.
And at the appropriate time, Judge, he wants to speak on his behalf.
Sure. Thank you. Council, did you have a chance to read the notes?
Oh, I've read this.
Oh, and State, did you have a chance to read the notes?
I have not.
If you just give them to the state. Any objections to the court reading that?
No, Judge, and I do, so I do have a letter from that's like the grandfather of the gal he's married to. I do have a letter from her herself.
Okay, all right, and if you'll show that to the state.
I have a.
Well, Sean, you are correct. Allergies are horrible today. I mean, this whole side of me, blockage from allergies. And I don't know, it's only this side.
Really?
Yeah. Whenever my allergies act up, it's just one side.
Should you have those flowers up there next to you?
Oh, the flowers, let me just tell you, they bring me joy. And if ever you're having a bad day, you can look at the flowers and say, there's beauty in this world.
You have a lot. But is that real? That's not real, right?
No. But we can pretend that orchid is real.
What about those?
No.
Those
Deputy, yeah, those are real. Deputy Laura actually put that together.
Okay.
And then this was a gift to me from a student.
It's pretty.
Yeah. And people always think that this one is real, which you think it's real, right?
That's a better view, the way you
Yes.
turned it.
But you know, I've been trying, we're off the record. While he reviews that, I've been trying to find honeysuckle because it reminds me of my grandmother. You know, it's so hard to find honeysuckle.
I've never really seen it in Texas. We had it a lot in New Jersey growing
Mhm.
up, but I've never really seen it here. Must
So
be too
I'm
dry.
gonna, I tell you what, if I have to bring some back with me from Louisiana, I'm gonna take it across state lines.
I
And
think you're
plant
right.
it. You think I'm okay with that?
You're okay. I'll represent you.
All right, if they stop me on the flight, I'm gonna say,
I
Scott
didn't say on a
Simpson.
flight. I thought you were gonna drive it across.
I mean, I tell you what, if you're driving from New Jersey, bring some.
Okay.
All right, we're back on the record. So the letters I have were the attachments. And counsel, you have no objections to my seeing the attachments?
No, and then this is so that's a relative of him and his wife are not gonna, I've talked to the Brooklyn, the wife. And so she got right back to me when I talked to her herself.
All right, and State, you have no objection to me seeing what's purported to be the letter from the wife? All right. Yes.
I have additional notes for your review. These are what appear to be CAD notes from McLennan County regarding the incidents in the letter. I've already turned them to defense counsel.
Any objections?
I'm gonna object to that one, Judge. It's just a reiteration of calls that were made that the grandfather doesn't like him. There's no doubt.
Okay.
And of course, but they don't want to be married anymore. I think that problem's gonna be resolved. Brooklyn does not think he needs to go to prison. The wife herself has a different story than grandpa.
Okay, just one last second. Let me finish reading this.
Grandfather. Her whole family.
All right, so I've reviewed that, and you said there's something you wanted to tell the court?
Yes, Your Honor.
You want to raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Caleb Chrome.
All right, why are you not doing well on probation?
Your Honor, I moved to Waco, to try to better my life and get, away from the victims that were here and everything else. A little cheaper up there too. And I enrolled in TSTC, or Texas State Technical College, the school. They have a lot of, programs there to help me out and stuff like counseling and medication. I've been trying to look for jobs. They're helping me with that. They're helping me look for an apartment. I'm trying to do my best up there. I was in a really bad relationship with this one girl that her grandfather that the reports on. And I'm trying to get out of that relationship right now. I was living with a buddy. I was gonna report with probation. I think that week, the 18th, I think.
All right, but here's the thing. They're saying that you are not complying with the instructions for Center for Healthcare Services. So I want to know why, and I'm not taking 23 as true because they didn't go on 23, but I'm wondering why you're falling off track with your mental health. That's what I want to get to. I already had told everyone that relationship with the was not going to work.
Yeah.
But you and her, because she came in on your behalf, I want to live. I'm like, this relationship is not going to work. But you all two crazy children wanted to do it. So I'm not even into that relationship part. I want to know why you're not following through on your mental health treatment. That's a problem for the court.
So the Center for Healthcare, I don't think they have that in Waco, so I was gonna go with TSTC and do it.
Well,
I
here's the
thought
thing. You're saying you don't think they have it in Waco, but why do you think they don't have it in Waco? Did you report that they give you information?
No, Your Honor, I was just assuming, and I also thought my other attorney had put in the motion for the Center for Health and ThriveWorks to be transferred up there. So I was gonna go with Texas State Technical College.
Oh, no. Let me stop you there. And the reason why I'm stopping you, because you keep getting off track. Condition number 30 states that you did then and there fail to comply with the instructions of Center for Healthcare Services as directed by the head or authorized personnel of that agency, and that the defendant failed to get in compliance with his medication. The fact that you've played true to that tells me that there's a Center for Healthcare Services wherever you were, because otherwise this wouldn't be a violation. They wouldn't have it there. So they're saying that you're not in compliance with your medications and you're not following through on the instructions from Center for Healthcare Services to get in compliance with your medications. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, Your Honor.
So I want to know why you are not following through with instructions for Center for Healthcare Services.
Just misunderstood, Your Honor.
I mean, there's no misunderstanding when they say, hey, you need to get in compliance with your medication. And I'm sure they didn't say you need to get in compliance with your medications. I'm sure it was along the lines of you're not taking your medications. We have reports that you're not taking your medications. You need to get back on your medications, and you didn't do it. That's why you're here.
Yes, Your Honor.
So why are you not being in compliance with your medication?
I have no excuse, Your Honor. And I will accept that I messed up, and I'm wanting, if I can't go back to Waco and finish school.
Oh, you're not going back to Waco. That's off the table.
Okay, and I would like to at least stay with my mom then back down here. I have things lined up already with,
All right, let me explain something to you, because I'd like for people to know where I am. Number one, if I don't revoke you, you're not leaving custody. You're going straight to DDRF. And DDRF, I know there's a wait time. Now, if you want to discuss that with your attorney, I'm not saying I'm going to do it. I don't know, but those are the only things that I'm considering right now. Either it's going to be revocation or either it's going to be DDRF. So before I even give strong thoughts to DDRF, you may want to talk to your attorney about that because of the wait time.
I understand.
And there's no need to come back to me saying, oh, the wait is too long. You know, can I do this from the outside? Because the answer is going to be no. So I don't know if you discussed that with your attorney.
It's a way better outcome than going to prison, Judge.
Well, I mean,
We've
but you
talked
wanna-
about it back and forth. We're not his mother too wanted to see if she could take custody of him. And so I promised I would make that argument. But I understand where the court's coming from, and I do think the DDRF is a good program. I wish the wait wasn't so long, but that's where we are. And if the court will be willing to do that, my client understands that's still a gift compared to being revoked and going to prison.
Yes, sir.
All right, and I'm not saying I'm gonna do DDRF, but is there anything you would like to add, state? And
Well, I just want to try and reorder just because your honor is reviewing attachments from the court summary and this is part of the attachments of the court summary. So if your honor's gonna take a look at everything, we ask that you take a look at this as well.
no objections to the court reviewing that?
I do object, but that's.
No, I mean, if you object to it as hearsay, then I won't review it. What we can do is we can reset this, and if you want to have witnesses by Zoom to address this, that can be done.
I don't think there's a need for that. I just wanted your honor, if over objection. you
I would just ask the court to look at it with some. It's hearsay within hearsay, like, so these are just unsubstantiated reports. And I know the court will look at it critically. That's all I would ask the court, would just don't assume that it's true.
All right. So you have no objections to me taking it, as long as I'm not taking it for the truth of the matter, sir?
Well, you know what I'm getting at.
Yeah. All right, let me review. All right, so this is what I'm going to tell both parties. One, I read all of the hearsay documents. And what I can tell you, do I believe these documents are true? Yes. But I also know that when the grandfather had the police to come out, your wife would not tell them that anything was wrong. And the reason why I believe that she wouldn't tell them is because she doesn't want you to go to prison. And that's what she said. She wants him to get help. She doesn't want him in prison. But do I believe you did everything that's listed in here? Yes. Because all of the evidence point to the fact that you did this. And based upon what I'm reading about her grandfather and your child's great grandfather, because he's the grandfather of your wife, and the child, he's the child's great grandfather. He's concerned about his grandchild and his great granddaughter, and rightfully so. And just so I want you to understand, I understand why he doesn't like you and doesn't want you in their life. Your child, is this a girl or a boy?
It was stepdaughter, Your Honor.
It's on
And it
his.
was a girl.
All right. So,
He
here's
doesn't
the-
have reason for her to still be with her.
and so here's the thing. I don't know anybody here. Raise your hand if you want your daughter or your granddaughter to be involved with somebody who's on felony probation. I don't know anybody who would be like, oh yeah, sign me up. I want my granddaughter to be with someone who is on probation for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon against a family member. I don't know anybody who wants that. So when people are shocked that a relative doesn't like them, I'm shocked that you're shocked by that. And then you have mental health issues on top of that, and you're not taking care of your mental health issues. And I'm sure you're not bringing in money the way you were supposed to. And he's concerned that you're going to be violent towards his great granddaughter. And I always tell people, children have absolutely zero say so in the foolishness that their parents are out here doing. Like the great granddaughter, his great granddaughter, I'm sure she would say, you know, please, I don't want you to be dating Caleb. I don't want Caleb in this household, but she has no say. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you've been doing horrible on probation. But I do realize you have mental health issues in state. Let me just explain something. I knew you all want 6 years in prison. He'll be eligible for parole in 3. He's still gonna have the same mental health issues that nobody's going to address. And that's part of the court's issue. So part of the reason why I'm gonna deny the motion is, one, because of what probation is requesting. They're requesting ISF. I don't think this is an ISF issue. I think this is an anger issue. I think this is mental health issue, and I think you're using your mental health issues as a crutch to say, I'm angry because of my mental health issues. I really don't even think that is in any way related to your behavior. But we're going to correct your behavior. And if this correction doesn't take place, you're looking at 20 years in the prison.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Abrams, gonna deny the motion, alter and amend conditions. In custody to the court, he's gonna stay in custody until transfer to ISF. I'm sorry, not ISF, DDRF. And upon release, there is going to be full GPS. And counsel, with the full GPS, I'm going to say that I'm going to ask that the fees be waived.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And if you want it not to be full GPS, you need to come back here and we will craft something
Yes.
that will protect the community.
Thank you, Your Honor.
There's to be no contact with Brooklyn, BROOKLYND from. There's to be, do you have any children? Biological children?
Oh, no.
There's to be no contact with minors. And defendant is not allowed in Waco, Texas. So that means if you're driving somewhere, because full GPS is now partial, you better not drive through Waco.
May I add, if I can at least go to Waco to get all my stuff, because all my stuff is still in Waco.
No, that's, you're gonna have to have a third party do that.
Okay.
Probation, is there anything else he needs? Could you return that to probation, please?
Yes, Judge.
Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful?
Not that I know of, Your Honor.
All right.
He's got a very supportive mother, Judge. She's really nice.
He's not allowed, Mom, he's not allowed in Waco. So, and he is not allowed to have any contact with minors. And he's not gonna be, so that means he can't reside in a home where there are minors. Yes, and he's not to have any contact with Brooklyn, his wife. If it comes time where they're doing divorce in the divorce proceedings.
Right, they are gonna have to do that.
Then just approach the court and we will take care of that.
Right.
Not the divorce, but I'll allow him to, if he's supposed to be in court on
Has
a
to be
specific.
served or whatever.
Yes.
Okay.
Your Honor, if I may ask, how long are we gonna plan for DDRF?
All right, so see, we can go off the record. Let me just explain something to you, what you don't understand. You were looking at 20 years in prison. And because this is an aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, your attorney will tell you, you would have to do 10 years flat before you're eligible.
And he won't
That's
get out when
where-
he's first eligible.
No,
Generally, you're
probably
serving
not.
75% of your time.
So here you are, you've just escaped the jaws of the lion. And now you're trying to, how long is DDRF is going to be? Your attorney already told you that. Now, if you would like, because DDRF is going to be a long wait, just let probation know. Don't sign the conditions that I've just set for you. And we will come back quick, fast, and hurry, like today, on another motion to revoke, and I can send you to prison.
No problem. I was just wondering for school.
Oh, school, you're gonna have to pick that up another year.
That's fine.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you.
You're welcome. Deshawana Robinson. Hello.
Hello.
All right. So where are we on discovery? I know we are waiting for records from hospice company, the contract to enter the complainant's home. I think that's what we were here last time.
I don't think we got any of that, Judge. I
Okay.
think that I talked to the state a little bit today just about also to see if they could talk to their complainant. I mean, as the court knows, I've been out for a while.
Yes.
My client also knows that. She's been kind of patiently waiting. I don't think that, I didn't see any of that discovery come in. But I think that I'm not, I'm hoping that maybe they can contact their client or their complainant. And then maybe that will kind of precipitate some movement.
All right, so state, the last time we were here in November, what's needed is the records from the hospice company and the contract that the defendant had to enter the complainant's home. My understanding, there's thought to be a contract that's out there. So if you could see if that exists or not.
Yes, Judge.
All right, so then what I'll do, counsel, I'm gonna reset this for 30 days and that'll give you some time and the state some time to find the discovery. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, I need a 30-day reset for discovery. All right, so May 8th will be your discovery date. And state, if there's some issue or defense, if there's an issue and you see that there's an issue before then with regards to discovery, then witnesses will need to be subpoenaed to see if this information does exist or not.
Understood.
That's perfect. Thank you, Judge.
All right. Once you sign the reset form, you're excused.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
Advise you about something.
Yes,
Fernando Jimenez.
yes.
The state has come across some new information. We'd like to reinstate our May 6th reset date.
All right, can I have a file back on Jimenez, please? Hi.
It's going to be a plea.
Okay. So do you want to do it May 6th or do you want to do it sooner?
May 6th is going to be fine.
Okay.
Maybe.
Okay, well, I'll put that as a disposition date then. I mean, because it's the plea date.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right,
That's
thank you.
perfectly fine. Other things happen. Take care.
All righty, that
Okay,
will
so
be,
May 6th.
yes, May 6th.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, here we are. Who is here on Pedro Rodriguez?
The present, Judge.
All right, come down. All right, state, were you able to tender an offer?
I don't believe an offer can tender upon.
We're still conferring. I think there's some discovery that's going to be done that potentially will take care of this case. We're hoping to get that done this month.
Yes, Your Honor, Ashley Jones, for the record. Okay, defense, let us know some new information, that we need to look into before we can make an accurate plea offer.
All right, Ms. Ferguson. Recall this for April 24th.
Thank you, Judge.
Norma, I'm sorry. The 22nd.
I believe I'm in town.
Your turn. Okay. All right, we'll bring you back on April 22nd.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yes.
Sir.
Rodriguez, Pedro Rodriguez. Deputy Laura, what page is he on? Ah, thank you. DeAndre Coleman. Hello.
Hey, Judge.
How's the building coming along?
It's coming.
Yeah.
Even better, this Uber game is starting to shape up.
Okay. All right, this is actually supposed to be reset for April 3rd, but we're here now. So defense and state, where are we on discovery? My understanding there were videos and multiple defendants. What's going on?
Not sure about multiple defendants, but I know that to my knowledge, state's in compliance with discovery. I don't know if he has any issues with it, and an offer has been sent.
Okay.
The only issue I have, Judge, is that there's indication that EMS asked the mother to take the child to a hospital. I'm not sure if there's any records of that child going to the hospital, any indication of any injuries.
I was aware that I can put the request in today for those records so I can try and turn them to defense as soon as possible.
All right, and notes child CPS Protective Services.
I haven't seen any CPS records.
I'll double check on that as well.
Okay. All right, so if there's no new discovery, then your plea deadline date will be April 22nd. How old are you, sir?
26, ma'am.
26. All right, your plea deadline date. Norma, recall this for April 22nd. All right, anything else?
No, Judge.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
Yes. No, just put it for 22nd as a plea deadline date. Thank you. All right, no problem. Christopher Delgado. Who's the attorney for Christopher Delgado? Ah, come down, Mr. Delgado. Yes. Hmm. All right, how are you doing, Mr. Delgado?
I'm doing well.
All right, so your attorney is actually in jury trial, and he's in jury trial in another county. So we will have to reset you because people can't be in two places at the same time. Have you had contact with him? Never?
No, not once. My cousin tried to contact him and there was no response. I can only make a phone call and there's no voicemail.
All right, and this is your appointed counsel?
Yes.
All right, just have a seat. Ms. Ferguson. On this case, can you see if the Mac can come down? Okay. All right. Just see if Matt can come. Are you all ready on Concia Roper?
Ashley just texted you, it would be another 15 minutes.
All right.
I'm gonna go to the 175th and I'll be back.
All right, and then are you all ready on McIntyre?
On the motions, Your Honor, I've seen a prosecutor.
All right, okay.
Although we'd be happy to go. Yeah, first one.
Yes.
Robinson case, could you please repeat what it is the state needs to do?
There's supposed to be a contract with a hospice care center and also the contract for the defendant to enter the home, if it exists.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Okay, and Norma, can you call Scott Simpson back?
Yes, ma'am.
He has a Charles Smith on the docket.
Yes,
All right, thank you.
You have to put file on Charles Smith? I have my motion. It's just a motion to set bond. You don't have the motion, I have a copy of it. Yeah, I have a copy. Can I approach you?
Yes.
And I know the prosecutor, I did confer with the prosecutor, this, Mr. Smith is missed a court date and he was remanded without bond. I conferred with the prosecutor, the original bond was 2,000, he said he would agree to 4. I don't know how the court feels about that,
All right, where's Mr. Smith?
right there.
All right, Mr. Smith, you come down. Can I see the file on Mr. Smith? Y'all have put it up here. Thank you.
It's a state jail felony, Judge. I believe it's from like offense date of 2022. He was indicted, maybe it's 2023. He was in, no, I think it was 2022. And then
Just one second. Court is calling 2024 CR 1894 State versus Charles Smith. Can I have parties announced for the record state?
Andrew Harris, Edelman.
Defense?
Scott Simpson for Mr. Smith.
And are you Mr. Smith?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. We're here because you have this case set. So before I take up your motion to set bond, let's talk about this case. State, have you tendered the discovery and defense? Do you have all discovery? Do you know if you have the
I
discovery?
haven't looked at that yet, Judge. I was just trying to get a bond. We just,
All right. Ms. Ferguson, can I have a 30-day reset for discovery on Mr. Smith? No, we'll keep it as April 10th as discovery. And then now let's focus on the motion to set bond. State, the defense has filed a motion to set bond. My understanding that you all have previously conferred and agreed. Well, you're requesting a bond of 4,000?
Is that correct?
If the court will set a bond, our agreement is 4,000.
4,000. Both parties have agreed to $4,000.
That's fine with us.
All right, can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Charles Garrett Smith.
All right, so do you understand why you do not have a bond currently?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
And why is that?
I missed the original court date.
All right, and so why did you miss the court date?
The stuff was sent to the wrong address that none of my family lives at.
All right,
His
so
dad
here's,
knows that.
yeah, so here's the thing. You need to make sure that your appropriate address is on file. You
Yes,
understand?
ma'am. Absolutely.
Now, here's my other question. How long have you been in custody? Approximately.
Since last Monday.
All right. Have you ever had any type of mental health diagnosis in the past?
No, ma'am.
All right. Have you ever taken any type of medication for mental health issues? In the past, have you ever used any type of drugs? Marijuana, alcohol, cocaine, anything other than marijuana?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. And what type of drugs other than marijuana?
Methamphetamines.
All right. And when's the last time?
July 28th of 2022.
Okay. All right. Any other questions? All right. This is what the court is going to do. The court is going to follow your agreement, set your bond at $4,000. I'm going to order 90 sober support meetings in 90 days. And the reason why I'm ordering that is because of the prior drug use. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And there's going to be regular UAs, and I'm going to ask that the fees be waived.
And so what are sober support meetings, Judge?
Oh,
Well,
it's the
do they
NA
tell-
meetings.
Okay.
Yes, they call them now sober support meetings.
I know
Okay,
what you're talking about.
all right. And Ms. Ferguson, he already has a court date for April 10th. If you can give him the reset form. All right, is there anything else, counsel?
Nothing else, Judge.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. We get, sign this and get a copy of this. You can make that.
All right, and Ms. Ferguson, can you see where,
Where do you want me to sit?
Ms. Ferguson, can you see where the state is on McIntyre? Thank you.
I just need to get these things.
Thank you.
And Scott, if you'll make sure that his correct address is in the system.
I will.
Thank you. Ms. Stoudemire? Hello.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning. I see you got your license.
I did.
Oh,
okay.
congratulations.
That is your copy. Yes, ma'am.
And I see the expiration date is not till November 2027. That's a good thing.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So how's everything else going?
Everything else is going, okay. I'm gonna actually, go over to the state attorney's office because I received another bounced paycheck, but I
Mhm.
didn't act.
All right.
So I'm going this morning to take care of that because, again, as you know, Legend's birthday was yesterday. She turned a year.
Mhm.
But we couldn't do anything because of
Yeah.
that check.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna take care of that this morning. But other than that, everything is fine. I'm working with NASB.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I just got contracted with NASB, so I signed all that and I want to come share with you.
Oh, Thank you so much for letting me know. And you know what I can tell you?
Yes, ma'am.
We sometimes put a lot of feelings and hopes and, you know, a lot of things on ourselves for children's birthdays. And guess what? With a 1-year-old, if you celebrate,
That's one in heaven.
yeah.
Yes,
But
ma'am.
here's the thing. She knows where your heart is, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So if you ended up celebrating her birthday,
Mhm.
5 days later or 10 days later, she knows where your heart is.
Yes, ma'am.
So just remember that. Okay.
Oh,
All
thank
right.
you so much. No, that's for you. I left that for you. That's your copy.
Okay, I'm gonna include it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Judge Boyd, and thank you as well.
Oh, you're welcome. And again, if you ever need anything, you know, you can always come back. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
All right. Have a good one, okay?
too. Thank
And if
you
you
as
need
well.
anything, let us know.
I will.
All right. Robert Featherston, where are you?
No, jump right here.
Hi. Oh, could I see you in the hallway very
Yeah,
quickly?
sure, please.
Just one second, sorry. Are you able to hear us now? All right. So just so the people on Zoom, I just read to her the motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision form, and she said that she is the person who has been placed on deferred adjudication in cause number 2022 CR 2353, and state you're reading the allegations that you're proceeding on.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, you may proceed.
Violation condition number 2. On or about the 9th day of August, 2024, in Bear County, Texas. The defendant, Concia Danae Roper, did then and there fail to submit to drug testing as directed by the court officer, supervision officer, and or duly authorized agent of the court in violation of condition number 2.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
Fail to submit,
Yes.
guess true.
Well, I mean, if you,
You told me that you didn't do any of these things, right? No, ma'am. Well, then you need to plead not true. Yes, ma'am.
all right, so with regards to that first violation that the state read, how do you plead? True or not true? Not true? Okay. State, you may proceed.
Yes, Your Honor. Violation condition number 2. On or about the 22nd day of July, 2024, in Bear County, Texas, the defendant, Concia Danae Roper, did then and there submit an invalid sample for drug testing, and that the sample submitted was diluted, and violation of condition number 2.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
Not true.
Okay, you may proceed.
On about the 10th day of July, 2024, in Bear County, Texas, the defendant, Concia Danae Roper, did in there fail to submit to drug testing as directed by the court officer, supervision officer, and or a duly authorized agent of the court in violation of condition number 2.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
Not true.
Next, Your Honor, violation condition number 2, on about the 30th day of April, 2024, in Bear County, Texas, the defendant, Concia Danae Roper, did then and there fail to submit to drug testing as directed by the court officer, supervision officer, and or duly authorized agent of the court in violation of condition number 2.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
Not true.
Yes, next, Your Honor, on about the 17th day of April, 2024, in Bear County, Texas, the defendant, Concia Danae Roper, did then and there fail to submit to drug testing as directed by the court officer, supervision officer, and or duly authorized agent of the court in violation of condition number 2.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
Not true.
Next, on about the 27th day of March, 2024, in Bear County, Texas, the defendant, Concia Danae Roper, did then and there fail to submit to drug testing as directed by the court officer, supervision officer, and or duly authorized agent of the court in violation of condition number 2.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
On or about the 13th day of March, 2024, in Bear County, Texas, the defendant, Concia Danae Roper, did then and there fail to submit to drug testing as directed by the court officer, supervision officer, and or a duly authorized agent of the court in violation of condition number 2.
How do you plead to that?
Not true.
On or about the 8th day of March, 2024, in Bear County, Texas, the defendant, Concia Danae Roper, did then and there fail to submit to drug testing as directed by the court officer, supervision officer, and or a duly authorized agent of the court in violation of condition number 2.
How do you plead to that?
Not true.
On or about the 23rd day of February, 2024, in Bear County, Texas, the defendant, Concia Danae Roper, did then and there fail to submit to drug testing as directed by the court officer, supervision officer, and or a duly authorized agent of the court in violation of condition number 2.
How do you plead?
Your Honor, move Ashley Jones for the record. Moving on to the first amended motion to revoke probation. We only have one violation.
All right.
In Bear County, Texas, the defendant, Constance Dene Roper, did then and there failed to report to the supervision officer as director for the months of November and December 2024 in violation of condition number 4.
How do you plead to that? All right, and state, do you waive the remaining violations?
We will waive all remaining violations, Your Honor.
No objections.
All right, state, do you have any witnesses?
Yes, Your Honor, we do at this time. State would call Jonathan Brejo.
All right, any objections to the witnesses appearing by Zoom, counsel?
No objections, Judge.
All right, could you raise your right hand for me? Do you solemnly swear affirm, I'm sorry, it's for Officer Trejo. No, it's for you, Officer Trejo. Do you solemnly swear affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
My name is Jonathan Trejo.
All right, state, you may proceed.
Your Honor. Good morning, Officer Trejo. Can you hear me okay?
I sure can. Good morning to you.
Thank you. Could you please let the judge know what your position is with probation?
Yes, I work as an intake probation officer here with Bear County Intake Unit here, the probation office.
And how long have you been in that position?
I've been working in the intake unit since around 2017.
Could you please briefly explain to the court what some of your normal duty responsibilities are in that position?
Sure. We basically receive all cases from misdemeanor felony courts, anyone granted community supervision, and they're assigned to report to the intake unit. We go over their conditions of probation, and they're assigned a probation officer. We go over their conditions with them here during that intake portion, and we make sure they understand all their conditions, and then we'll have them sign their conditions. And again, they're provided all their information as far as what specific conditions are ordered by the courts, and let them know when they're going to be reporting and with whom they're going to be reporting to on probation.
Okay. And did you do that with the defendant in this case, Ms. Constance Dene Roper?
That is correct.
Did you have contact with her on June 9, 2022?
Correct. She reported she logged in here on Zoom, and we did an orientation over Zoom.
Okay. Can you briefly describe the orientation that you had with the defendant on that?
Yeah, so there's a portion where we review their standard conditions, which is approximately the first 13, 14 conditions of probation. So that's usually done in a group setting with anyone granted community supervision. They'll be write out those conditions, and then we'll meet with them. There's several intake officers here within the units. Since we usually do these as a group, we'll meet with them individually in a breakout room, and we'll answer any questions regarding any of those conditions of probation. We'll also review any specific conditions of probation, any programs, no contact orders, anything the judge has ordered. We'll review them with them, answer any questions, and then we'll have them sign their conditions via email as well.
The conditions that you reviewed with this defendant, did that include the previously mentioned violations of conditions number 2 and 4?
Correct. We go over every single condition of probation, and that would include those conditions as well.
Okay. Did she sign the conditions after you went over with them in her intake?
Yes, so she signed conditions.
No further questions, Your Honor. Pass the witness.
Defense, any questions?
Hi, Mr. Trejo, can you hear me?
I sure can. Good morning.
Awesome, good morning. Mr. Trejo, I guess you were notified this afternoon or this morning about this contested MTR, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and so they gave you a name and a SID number or a name and a case number? How did that work?
A name and a case number, correct?
Okay, and then you go to your files and you search for that individual?
Correct.
Okay, do you have any independent recollection of the person standing before you here by Zoom?
Other than just them having signed conditions, and we do have photographs here where we can kind of confirm that individual. Also ask them whenever they come into the Zoom, are you this same person that was granted community supervision? And they'll confirm that they're that same person.
Okay, and so have you compared her picture that you have of her to the person standing in front of you?
Correct, ma'am.
Okay, and you believe this to be Ms. Roper?
I do.
Okay, and Mr. Trejo, let me ask you, if a probationer has any issues like transportation issues or anything like that, do you tell them to discuss that with you or to discuss that with their assigned probation officer?
So if they're having any issues, anything specifically, they are advised to discuss that with their officer, because they're gonna be the ones specifically that they're gonna be reporting to.
Okay, and do you recall any conversation with Ms. Roper about any issues she might think that she's going to have specifically regarding transportation?
Not that I can recall.
Okay, and this was 2022, right?
Correct.
Okay, we'll pass the witness.
All right, any further questions?
No further questions, Your Honor.
All right. State, you may call your next witness.
Your Honor, at this time, state calls Michael Seidel.
All right. Officer
And,
Seidel, yes.
Unless there's an objection, witness Trejo can be excused.
No objection.
All right, Officer Trejo, you may be excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you so much for zooming in.
Thank you.
All right, Officer Seidel, if you could raise your right hand for me, please. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
My name is Michael Seidel, Seidel.
All right, in defense, no objections to this witness appearing by Zoom?
No objections.
All right, state, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning, Officer Seidel.
Good morning.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Thank you. Do you recognize the woman that you see in front of you right now on Zoom?
Yes.
Okay. Who do you recognize her as?
Consia Roper.
Have you met previously with this person before?
Yes, I have.
Okay. Can you please describe to the court the first time you came into contact with her?
It would have been at her first report with me, and I believe she was reporting by Zoom from the hospital.
In your first meeting with her, what do you typically do with these type of defendants?
Typically when I get when a case is transferred to me, I would go over the conditions with the probationer. Since she wasn't in office with me, I did not do that this time at her first meeting with me.
Now, was she directed to submit to a drug test on or about August 9, 2024?
Yes.
Did she do so?
She did not.
How did she know that she was supposed to do so?
At the virtual office visit on August 7th, we both agreed that she would submit a drug test by the 9th of that month.
Did you ever provide any proof to that?
I'm sorry?
Did you ever provide any proof to that?
But I'm not, I would.
The question is, did she ever provide any proof to you that she reported on August 9th, 2024?
For the drug test? No.
Okay. Was she required to then, previously to that date, submit to a drug test on the 10th day of July, 2024?
Yes.
Did she submit on that day?
She did not.
Did she know she was supposed to?
Yes, because she said that she would submit a drug test after the office visit that day.
Officer, was she required to submit to a drug test on April 30th, 2024?
Yes.
Did she do so?
No, she did not.
How did she know she was supposed to do so?
The prior day we met by Zoom on April 29th, and I told her that she needed to submit a drug test the next day, by the next day.
Did she ever provide proof of any submission?
No.
Officer, was she required to submit to a drug test on April 17, 2024?
Yes.
Did she do so?
She did not.
How did she know she was supposed to submit to a drug test that day?
She said that she would submit a drug test that day.
Did she provide any proof of submission of doing so on that day?
She did not.
Officer Seidel, was she required to submit to a drug test on March 27, 2024?
Yes.
Did she do so?
She did not.
And how did she know she was supposed to submit?
She said that she would submit a drug test that day after the visit.
Did she ever provide any type of proof of any submission of a drug test on that day?
No, she did not.
Officer Seidel, was the defendant required to take a drug test on March 13, 2024?
Yes,
Did she do so?
she did not.
And how did she know she was supposed to submit that day?
On that day, at our office visit, she said that she would submit that day. Also, at the January 18th office visit, due to her past failures to submit, I had instructed her to submit weekly drug tests through her first report in February. And then when that came, we agreed again for weekly ones because she was not successful at that through to March.
Now, on March 8th and February 23rd, 2024, was the defendant required to submit to drug testing on those 2 days?
Yes,
Did she do so on those days?
she did not.
After January 2024, did you discuss with the defendant her failures to submit?
Yes.
What was that discussion?
Several times in several visits along the way, reminding her of her drug testing, her drug testing compliance.
Is that presumed condition number 2 of her probation conditions?
Yes.
Officer Seidel, how was the defendant made aware of her requirement to report to you?
Her requirement to report to me. So we agree on next reports at our meetings verbally, and I give a next appointment reminder slip. And for Ms. Roper, she wanted the reminder slips mailed as well, so she could use those as proof of residence.
Did she know that she was supposed to report to you in November and December of 2024?
Yes.
How did she know that?
She was to be reporting twice monthly per her conditions. And at the at her at her November 10th, at her October 10th report, we scheduled for October 24th, November 7th, and November 21st. And the next appointment reminder slip was given to her and it was mailed.
After she failed to report to you for November and December of 2024, did you try and get a hold of her?
Yes.
How did you try and get a hold of her?
She failed to report the first one in November, and I texted her that I was changing the second report to be in person rather than Zoom, and to take care of the warrant before that report, before she came in for that report.
Did she respond?
No.
Did you mail her any letters?
For that due diligence, I did not, because the warrant was already active.
Did you send her a reminder letter in the mail for November 2024?
She would have gotten the reminder slip from October in the mail, and that would have been it as far as physical reminders.
Prior to that, had she been reporting to you since 2022?
I got her case in July of 23.
But prior to November 2024, had she been reporting to you every month?
Yes.
No further questions, Your Honor. I'll pass the witness.
Defense.
Hi, Mr. Seidel, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
And you can hear me okay, right?
Yes.
Okay, great. So, Mr. Seidel, you had her assigned to you in July of 23?
July of 23, yes.
Okay, and what had just happened to her prior to that?
Prior to, I believe,
It's fine.
I believe she was in the hospital.
Okay, do you know why?
I believe there were she had a baby or there were complications with.
Okay, and so she had a baby, correct? And she was
Yes.
hospitalized for a C-section, is that correct?
I don't know what medical procedure.
That's not in your notes, right?
Sorry?
That's not in your notes, right?
Not in front of me.
Okay, well, you've been reading something, so what are you reading?
My visit, my notes for visits
Okay.
past when I had her.
Okay, so you don't have anything from the July visit? I assume that was by Zoom?
Yes.
Okay, you don't have anything about her just having had a baby and had a C-section and was hospitalized?
Well, yes, that my first visit with her was by Zoom from the hospital.
Okay. All right, how many of these visits were by Zoom, Mr. Seidel?
Go back and count if you'd like, but generally she was supposed to be reporting twice a month. The first one in person, one in person, the second by Zoom. Generally, I would do that. The first one of the month in person and the second one by Zoom.
Okay, and where did she live?
Cibolo?
Okay, so she's not a Bear County resident, correct?
Parts of Cibolo are in Bexar County.
Okay, she's not a San Antonio resident, correct?
Correct.
Do you know if she lives in a part of Cibolo that is in Bear County?
Off the top of my head, no, I'm not.
Okay.
I don't know where those dividing lines are.
Okay, and let me just ask you, Mr. Seidel, when did a warrant issue for her arrest?
The warrant was issued. One second. The warrant was issued at the end of October
Of what year?
of 24.
All right. Now, you had her as your probationer since July of 23 to present, correct?
Till January of 25, she was in my caseload.
All right. Is she no longer in your caseload because she's incarcerated?
I changed units.
Okay, all right. And when the warrant issued, did you have a conversation with Ms. Roper about that warrant?
I talked to her over phone to let her know about the warrant.
Okay, so you had a conversation with her.
Yes.
All right. And did you tell her not to bother reporting until she took care of that warrant?
I told her she would need to take care of the warrant before she reported.
Okay. Can you understand how she might interpret that as don't report until you take care of that warrant?
No,
No, you don't get that at all?
I would say take care of the warrant before she reported.
Okay. And did she ever convey to you that she was having transportation issues?
Not that I recall.
And has she done, what other things has she done on her probation? What has she done right on her probation, Mr. Seidel?
She was reporting, and I think she had a number of classes that were done prior to her being on my caseload. I think she had a parenting class. She had the BIP done. So it was basically reporting and drug testing were remaining.
And how is she on monies?
How is she on money, on her finances?
Has she been paying?
She was struggling with finances. I know that.
Did she have a job?
She was in and out of jobs.
Okay. Do you know how many children she has?
Off the top of my head at the moment, no, I don't recall.
Do you know what her family situation is at all?
In regards to like
How many children she has, where she's living, what she's trying to do to make ends meet? Do you have any of that information as her probation officer?
well, she lived with her family. She had some trouble keeping jobs, because
Don't speculate, Mr. Seidel.
Okay. I know she had some financial issues and she struggled to keep jobs. She lived with her family.
Okay, and you're telling this court that she never communicated to you that she had transportation issues from Cibolo?
Not that I recall.
So she could have, you just don't remember.
Actually, speculation, Your Honor.
All right, that'll be overruled. I'm here to listen. Any other questions?
I do have a few more. I'm sorry, Judge.
No problem.
So, Mr. Seidel, are you saying that there was no drug testing done whatsoever in August of 24? That you're aware of?
In August of 24, there were no drug tests.
Okay, and were there drug tests in July of 2024?
There were.
And how does something show up on your report to be diluted?
I'm sorry?
How do you know if a drug test has been diluted?
It's in the report from RMS.
Okay, you're not a chemist, correct?
Correct.
And you aren't the one conducting these urinalysis.
Correct.
And you don't know whether that's accurate or not, do you?
That's, I cannot speak to that.
Okay, and you don't have any idea whether she was drinking a ton of water or a ton of Gatorade, or you have no idea, right?
Correct.
Did you know she was breastfeeding a child?
I do not know.
You didn't know that, did you?
No.
Okay. How about in April of 2024, were there any drug tests?
April of 24. No.
March of 2024?
March of 24, yes.
Okay. Were those diluted?
There was one test in March of 24 and it was a clear negative.
Okay. And how about in February of 24? Any drug tests?
Yes.
Okay. And were those negative?
All three of those were clear negatives.
Okay. So she has had some drug tests, correct?
Yes.
And she has passed those with negative results, correct?
Yes.
She's current or somewhat current on her finances. Would that be accurate?
As far as her supervision fees,
Correct.
she's not current on her supervision fees.
Okay, what is she current on?
For as fees,
Mr. Seidel, does she owe you money?
she has an outstanding balance on her fees with the supervision. Yes.
And what's the outstanding balance that she owes you?
$3,192.
And that total is made up of what? 3 different fees?
The supervision fees, the one-time UA fee, the court costs. She had a small PR bond fee and the administrative fees for when you make payments.
Has she been attempting to make payments every time? Is that reflected in your records?
Every time? No.
Has she
We
been?
have 3 payments from her.
I'm sorry, in the entire time you've had her?
Yes, in the entire time she's been on supervision.
And how much did those total?
$66.
Okay. And before you got her on this caseload, she had already completed all her classes?
Yes.
So really, it was just a matter of reporting and giving a UA and pay.
Oh, I'm sorry. She had completed the parenting class after I had her on my caseload. She completed the parenting class in December of 23.
Okay. And so tell me, why did you issue a warrant when she actually had been doing some UAs and she'd done all her classes and she was attempting to make payments?
The court responded with my supplemental report to file an MTR.
Okay. So you did it at the court's instruction, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Is there any reason that you hadn't previously filed a supplement, or had you?
I had filed a supplemental report requesting a compliance hearing to address her inconsistencies with her drug tests.
Okay, and when was that?
I sent that supplemental report at the beginning of October
24, correct?
of 24, yes.
Okay. And her underlying offense is not a drug offense, correct?
It's aggravated assault with deadly weapon.
Her offense, her underlying offense is not a drug offense, is it, Mr. Seidel?
It's not a drug offense.
Would you have any objections as her former officer, Mr. Seidel, of having her probation transferred to Cibolo and letting her do her UAs and reporting there?
To transfer her case to
Guadalupe County?
Guadalupe County? I would not have had a problem with transferring her to Guadalupe.
We'll pass the witness, Judge. Thank you.
A few questions, Your Honor. Officer Seidel, the defendant's responsibility to submit to drug testing, was that in Bear County?
Yes.
And her responsibility to report to you, was that to be done in Bear County?
Yes.
So all the violations on this defendant occurred in Bear County, Texas, correct?
Correct.
In your training and experience, officer, is it possible for a defendant to begin well on probation and then struggle later on if they have a drug problem?
Yes.
Now, last question is, when you told her that she needed to take care of her warrant and then report, did you specifically tell her, do not report to me until you take care of the warrant?
No. I said, take care of the warrant before you report.
No further questions, you want to pass the witness?
One more, Judge. And this experience that you have where they begin well, but then they struggle if they have drug problems, you don't know if that applies to this defendant.
No.
Because she had some negative results. She had a bunch of negative results, didn't she?
Yes.
Pass the witness.
Any further questions?
Nothing from me, I'm sorry. That's what you were asking me.
I'm asking in general. Any other questions?
Yes, Your Honor, just one moment, I'm sorry.
No question, Brian.
All right, is this witness excused?
He is excused by the state.
No objections from defense.
All right, thank you. The court will hear argument.
Actually,
Brief.
if I can call Ms. Roper as a witness.
All right, can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Quincy is the name Roper,
All right, defense.
Ms. Roper, how old are you?
32,
How long have you been on probation?
since 2022.
All right, and where do you live?
Civilo,
And do you live in the Bear County section of Cibolo or the Guadalupe County section of Cibolo?
Guadalupe.
All right. And who do you live with?
My mother and my father.
And who else?
My 3 children.
Okay, when was your last baby born?
July 18th, 2023. He was 7 pounds, 13 ounces.
He was 7 pounds, 13 ounces. Okay. And did you have him by C-section?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, did they
That
have,
was my 3rd C-section.
okay, and did they have to give you some medication for that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you continued on probation, correct? Is that a yes?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And do you agree with Mr. Seidel that you got him in July as a new probation officer of 2023?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Did you have any problems with Mr. Seidel?
No, we had no issues. I had no issues with him as my probation officer. I felt like he just did his job the way he was supposed to. I still don't have a problem with Mr. Seidel because there was times that I needed to submit a drug test. It was just at the time I was having trouble with transportation, but here lately I've been doing so well. My parents helped me with some transportation.
Okay.
So I can get my children back and forth to school and go to work.
Okay. So let me just ask you, where are you working?
I work for Bill Miller's off of 3009.
All right. And how many hours a week do you work?
40 hours. I get Sundays and Mondays off to take care of what I need to take care of for my children.
Okay. And how long have you had that?
I've had this job a little over 6 months.
All right. And did you get a tax return this year?
Yes, ma'am.
And what were your intentions with your tax return?
So I can pay off my probation.
And you heard the testimony from the two officers, correct? Is that a yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and they have detailed several dates that you did not submit to drug testing.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and the court's gonna want an explanation for that. Do you have an explanation?
I do.
Okay, can you tell the court why?
Sometimes I didn't have any transportation. It was hard to get back and forth. Or the people like my parents, they would help me get to report, and then I would have to report afterwards to take a drug test. But sometimes the wait would be for so long, and my dad or my mom would have to get back to work. They would just tell me I needed to take it another time. But by no means, ma'am, do I have a drug problem. At the moment, if you can say I have any type of problem, it's PTSD and postpartum depression. That is really about it.
All right, and did Mr. Seidel accurately report to the court when he told you that you had a warrant and do not report to him until you take care of that warrant?
Yes, ma'am.
Right, is that why you did not report in November and
Yes,
December?
ma'am, because up to that point, I reported every month. I made sure I was on Zoom 10 minutes early before reporting, and I was always 20 minutes early to do a report. I always made time to go report and do what I needed to do. The only problems and issues sometimes that I would have would be with the finances and either paying for the drug test or the wait time would be so outstanding that my parents and it would have to go, and we live all the way in
Just one
Simple.
second.
Yes.
State, what are you all gonna be requesting with regards to this?
We're just requesting probation's recommendation, Your Honor.
Just to
Saturday.
her in custody for Saturday.
All right, so here's the thing. Saturday's not gonna work because she has 2 cases that are open. And they're not gonna transfer her as long as those new cases are open. And let me just explain to everybody, the reason why she has to report to Bear County is because she's been moving around, because she's asked for different transfers, and that's why in my orders, I put that she's not to transfer to any other county without the court's permission. It's because she's been moving around. And her reporting in Bear County is what she agreed to because she wasn't doing well on probation. That's why I had the 2 times reporting so she could do the UAs, because this isn't the first time the court has problems with her either missing UAs or doing UAs that are dilute. So the only question that becomes, probation, do you want revocation? All right, so probation doesn't want revocation. And I can tell you why right now, I'm finding violation of conditions 2 from August 9th, 2024 true. The number 2 from July 22nd, 2024. I don't remember hearing any testimony about that one. I'm finding that not true. 2 from July 10th, 2024. April 30th, 2024. April 17th, 2024. March 27th, 2024. March 13th, 2024. March 8th, 2024, and February 23rd, 2024. I'm finding that true. I'm finding violation of condition number 4 true. The only one that I'm finding not true is the date from July 22nd, 2024. And here's the thing. This whole thing, I can't get somebody to take me here. I can't get somebody to take me there for UAs. That's a part of probation. And I understand the struggle is real when people are on probation, but we're on probation for a reason. And so the excuses, I can't get a ride here or I can't pay this, that's a part of being on probation. Otherwise, probation is just a piece of paper and people can do whatever they want to and pretend as though they didn't commit the offense that requires them to be on probation. So I do also know that in this court, whenever anybody's having trouble reporting, in defense, I think you know this as well, I say, pick up the phone, call your probation officer, and if your probation officer is not being responsive to what you're saying, all you have to do is come in court. You didn't do any of those things. I don't recall you coming into court to address these issues. So this whole thing about probation and do that, probation and do this. Probation, at the end of the day, some probation officers will hold people's hands. They're good with what I call bedside manners. They'll walk you through things. Is there anything that we can do to help or whatever? Some probation officers are like, look, your problems are your own problems. Maybe they're problems that you're making, but you need to report on this day, and that's the date you need to report. Don't want to hear anything else. And I am the one who said, no, we're not doing a compliance hearing, file a motion to revoke. And let me just tell you why I did that. Because I've had compliance hearings with you before, where we've addressed these same issues. And sometimes you have to get people's attention in a different way when you have them in the free world and they're still not abiding by the rules, even though you tell them over and over, this is the final compliance hearing. You need to do A, B, C, and D. So that wasn't getting your attention, but I think I have your attention now. And this case, you're looking at 20 years in the prison, and I found these violations true. State can recommend whatever they want to. They can even come up with an agreement with your attorney to continue you, but I don't have to. I can still revoke you. You know why? Because your contract is not with the state, it's not with your attorney, it's with the court. Do you understand?
We do.
All right. So both parties, this SATF thing, nobody's going to accept her in SATF because she has the new #1 cases pending. She'll be in limbo. She'll be at the jail until those cases are taken care of. So have your new cases been taken care of?
No,
They're
ma'am,
still
my
pending?
probation, the lawyer that I talked to before I came over
Okay,
here.
so
he
here's the
said
thing.
he
No,
could get
no, no,
them
no, no,
dismissed.
stop. You need to listen to my questions and
Yes, ma'am.
only answer my question. The question I asked you was a yes or no question.
Yes, ma'am.
Your attorney who has those other cases, he would not want you saying what you all discussed. That's confidential.
That's fine.
So my question for you is, the new #1s, are those cases still open?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you entered a plea to any of those cases? All right, that's all I needed to know. So SATF for her is off the table. So what do you all suggest? Probation?
I'll do weekly.
No. Don't, here's the thing.
Yes, ma'am. I'm
People
sorry.
will always say when their backs are to the wall, I'll do daily UAs.
Do
You can put,
anything.
no, stop. You can put me on probation for life. I've heard that. Some states, they do have lifetime probation, not here. So don't do that. It's just like when I would represent parents on the CPS side, you know what they would tell me? I will walk through fire for my children. And you know, I would tell them, don't need you to walk through fire. All I need you to do is
Take care.
disassociate yourself from this man. And you know what they say? I will do that. And then guess what ends up happening? They can't do it. Parents always want to walk through fire for their children until there's a fire. Then they're like, maybe I can go around it. So don't come to me saying you'll report daily or whatever, because you won't. So probation, what are your suggestions? Yes. Does she need an updated TAP evaluation?
We do need an updated TAP evaluation, Judge. I would ask that we do weekly reporting via Zoom for 60 days. Monthly or analysis, Judge. Reinstate field visits. Oh, like she's in Guadalupe County now, so not do that. All the recommendations of the TAP evaluation.
State, are you in agreement with that?
Just to revoke and send us to 2 years TDC, right?
All right, were you all just asking that to be continued though?
Well, we wanted treatment, yes, I feel like that was the best thing for her. However, if she can't get treatment, there's not other alternatives other than that.
All right, this is what the court is going to do. I'm going to ask for an updated TAP evaluation that's going to be done in custody. There's going to be weekly reporting by Zoom. for 90 days. And let me just tell you why it's not 60 days. Sometimes people need to be punished. That's punishment. There is going to be a patch. How much is the patch? All right, I can tell you the patch is probably approximately, is it like maybe $80 a month or something? So here's the thing, you can either do the patch or either you're gonna have to come in for testing. The choice is yours. So it's either patch until further notice, or there is going to be bi-monthly testing.
I'd rather the patch, because I don't want to have to make no excuses. I can't make it in here to take a test.
All right, so Ms. Abrams, it's gonna be the patch until further notice. And you are not to remove that patch. Once that patch is placed on you, you're gonna have to report back to have that patch removed. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And I'm gonna want 90 sober meetings in 90 days.
You don't care what county she does those in, do you?
No. And probation, is there anything else? Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful?
You, only thing I might ask to help with is my fees.
I'm not concerned about fees at the moment. The only thing I'm concerned about is the updated TAP evaluation, weekly reporting by Zoom for 90 days, patch until further notice, and 90 sober meetings in 90 days. Yes, Ms. Abrams?
Judge, is there a way that if the TAP is going to be more than a week and a half, 2 weeks, that we consider the TAP outside of custody?
Yes. All right. Is there anything else from either side?
State Your Honor.
Nothing from the defense, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Do better.
I swear I will.
Okay.
Thank you for not taking me from my children.
Thank you, Judge.
All right. Who's here on Espinoza? All right, so did he enter his plea in county court now?
So Judge, I came to verify that plea because they didn't have, we got it verified. I've just been waiting to let you know that we're gonna take that plea either right now or we're gonna come back after lunch.
All right, see you after lunch.
Okay.
All right, thank
We'll
you.
come back over.
Christopher Delgado. All right, we're, Mr. Delgado, we're gonna bring you back this afternoon. We're gonna have somebody from MAC come to speak to you. Juan Flores. Yes, come forward. And on McIntyre, can I see you all? Hi. Good morning. So on the motion to suppress, are you all just going on the motion itself? Or are you calling witnesses?
Your Honor, the motion has essentially two arguments. The first is that it fails to state probable cause in the four corners.
All right, so do y'all have a copy of any objection to the court reviewing the warrant? Because I haven't seen it.
No, we'd be happy for you to do that. Because if you agree with us on that, there won't need to be a Frank's hearing.
All right, so if you all will give me a copy of the warrant, what I'll do is I'll review it over my lunch break. And if you all could be back here, because based upon my reviewing of the motions, I don't think it's going to take an hour. If you all will be back here by 1 o'clock,
Yes.
I will review things. I mean, I'll hear whatever motions y'all want heard.
Okay, just as far as the warrant, I do have a copy for, I'll provide that right now, but just so we're able to make a record when we come back.
Yeah, oh, yes, no, Yes.
And Your Honor, just as a housekeeping matter, you'd indicated last night we could discuss the sealed motion today.
Yeah,
At some
yeah,
point, if
for
we-
this question, we'll do it before the jury comes in.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. Just an opportunity if we could perhaps have that with the reporter in chambers, given that now the gallery has
Sure.
as many people as it does.
Oh, no, I'll have them step outside and we'll do it with their being here
Thank you.
on that motion.
Judge,
Appreciate it.
and then just one last thing, the state did file a motion in limine in advance of the last trial setting. Does the court have a copy of that, or do I need to provide that?
Yeah, if you'll print
Okay,
that.
I'll do that.
And Judge, one issue, all of our notes when we were taking the jury are on the jury list, which we're happy for the court to maintain both ours and the prosecution. May we make a copy of ours so we can have our notes?
No, I don't allow to make copies of if your notes with regards to the jurors are on the jury list where their information is, no.
I believe there's a sour case out of the fourth court, our court, as well.
Well, I mean, what I can tell y'all, I'm not gonna let y'all make copies of who the jurors are. If you have notes on that, you're not gonna be allowed to make copies of who the jurors are.
Well, we're not looking for any of the personal information. If we can at least review them and take down the notes of our notes so that we can maintain that, that would be fine.
Okay, I'll take a look at what the notes are and then I'll see.
And can I leave you a highlighted copy of the two cases that say that we're entitled to that information?
I mean, here's the thing, if somebody made notes and you want your specific notes, you can get your specific notes. But if you all are trying to, my notes are here, let me make a copy of it, just print a copy of it, and it's the jurors' names and everything, the answer is gonna be no.
No, what we'd like is I do want to be able to put my notes together with whichever name the juror is I'm not looking for the personal information. I don't want their address, any social security, nothing else. I just want to be able to look at my notes. And I think everybody, and have no objection to the state doing that. I'm happy to give you the copy of the fourth court's opinion.
Sure, you can give me the copy of the fourth court's opinion. All right, thank you.
Just before we step back,
Yes.
I'm sorry, I have one last thing. So I have provided defense with a copy of the NCIC, TCICs for state's witnesses. I have reason to believe that they've reproduced them, and so like the court's ruling.
All right, so here's the thing, the NCIC, TCIC, you all are not allowed to reproduce that.
Well, Your Honor, the issue I would have is, first of all, we haven't reproduced anything. I was just handed.
Okay, all right, so here's the thing.
But I would just maintain under 3914 that this is the time that those things would at the utmost last minute have to be produced, and that there's no.
Okay, so this is what I'm telling everybody. Number one, the NCIC, TCIC, you're allowed to review it, you're not allowed to copy it. That's gonna be my ruling. You can't copy it.
Are we allowed to keep the copy that they?
I mean, you can review it, but you're not allowed to leave the courtroom with it. And let me just tell you why. And this is where I'm coming from. And I understand that people say sometimes, Judge, don't explain your reasoning. But let me explain my reasoning to you. Because it's not legally, it's not allowed. You're not allowed to make copies. You're not allowed to take it from the room because of the sensitive information that's on there, and also because access to NCIC, TCIC, that's limited. And if people don't want it to be limited, people need to take that up with the legislature.
And I believe with respect to the jury list, the law is precisely the opposite, but I'll give you those cases.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thanks. All right, so this case. 2024, are you ready to proceed?
Sure.
Court is calling 2024 CR 0663 State versus Juan Flores. Could I have parties announced? State,
Ashley Jones,
defense,
Shasta.
and are you Mr. Flores?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you review the document entitled Motion to Revoke Community Supervision with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you the same Juan Flores who was placed on community supervision in 2024 CR 0663 for the offense of continuous violence against the family on March 26, 2024 for 5 years?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, state,
Yes, the state is gonna proceed on violation condition number 4. On or about the 27th day of March 2024 in Bear County, Texas, the defendant Juan Flores did then and there fail to attend orientation at the Bear County Community Supervision and Corrections Department in violation of condition number 4.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True.
Did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 4, the court could find it true, grant the motion, and sentence you to 5 years in the prison? Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 4?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find violation of condition number 4 true. Is there a proposed agreement?
There is not, Your Honor. The state would recommend that the court sentence the defendant to 4 years in the Texas Department of Corrections. It appears he had no intention of complying with this probation since once he was released from jail, he absconded. And I believe defense will argue proceeding.
All right, defense, what are you requesting?
Judge, probation has an alternative recommendation. They're recommending that he submit to the TAP while he's in custody, and just follow recommendations in the, not the alternative, but assuming that he gets out, it would be intensive supervision. We would ask the court to consider that option. In speaking with my client, obviously I didn't represent him at the onset, Judge, but he has indicated that at that time, once he was placed on probation, I think the court had actually, and I don't know if there's notes, Judge, this is what he's telling me, that at that time, the court had given permission. I believe he was bonded out because his dad was very sick, but he was on monitor. And at that time, he asked permission to go to the Rosary once his dad passed. This is obviously he lived with his father. So once he was bonded out, that was the home he went back to. It was very different setting. He says he fell into a very deep depression. I understand that various family members were reached out to, sort of indicating the same. He was at this home. He understands that obviously his hands aren't clean on this, Judge. He's just asking for another opportunity. I did indicate that he would have to submit to some of those initial things probably while he was in custody. I've asked the background of those. He's just asking for help from the court, Judge.
All right, so I still don't understand why you didn't report. You want to raise your right hand for me? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
You can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Flores.
Why didn't you report? I mean, that's the least you can do.
Basically, the passing of my father I kind of got lost. I was basically lost the whole time. I had nobody to talk to or ask for guidance or nothing.
So,
I basically went back to a house, to an empty house.
so how did you end up coming into custody? Did you turn yourself in?
I kind of did and didn't. I was
Well, I mean, it's either yes or no.
No.
So how did you become in custody?
I was at an area where I was just supposed to be smoking cigarettes, and I was smoking cigarettes.
Mhm. All right, is there anything else?
The only thing, Judge, is that I would say, I believe he's been in at least 30 days, so I would ask the court to consider that as a sanction.
And from the state, Your Honor, the state would offer the court summary pending any objection from defense counsel. Defense counsel did bring up that probation had been trying to reach out to several family members, and it's the state's impression that some of that information that defense counsel gave may be incorrect.
All right, any objections to the court reviewing this court summary? All right, let me find it. Oh, it should be on here. It's sent to me by email, but I just don't look at it until both parties agree. Let me see. All right, is there anything else? All right, the court is going to find violation of condition number 4 true. The court is going to grant the motion. The court is going to sentence you to 4 years in the prison. Give you credit for any time served. There's an affirmative finding of family violence. There's to be no contact with Kimberly Destiny Ortiz. And I'll recommend the therapeutic community. Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it? Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because I'm sorry. It's a long day. All right. So you reviewed the trial court certification?
Yes,
Did you sign it?
yes.
All right. You have a limited right to appeal. And that right to appeal is as it relates in the allegations in the motion, not the fact that you were on probation. Do you understand?
Yes.
Because this is a felony conviction and an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what that is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right. Good luck to you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we're on recess. Yes.